Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into the powerful ideas from Ryan Holiday's best-selling book, Ego is the Enemy. It's a book built on a really challenging premise that the biggest battle you'll ever fight is the one against yourself.
So let me ask you this. If you're a driven person, if you're ambitious, what do you think the biggest obstacles are? You probably think of things out there in the world, right? Fierce competition, maybe not having enough money, or just plain old bad luck. But what if the single greatest threat to your success, and really your happiness, is much, much closer to home?
And there it is. This quote gets right to the heart of the entire book. The biggest thing standing between you and the life you want to live isn't out there, it's in here, inside your own head. So let's break down what that actually means.
So when we say ego, what are we really talking about? Now, this isn't some deep Freudian psychology thing. Holiday uses the word to mean something a lot more practical, and frankly, a lot more dangerous to our goals. Think of it like the petulant child that lives inside all of us. It's that little voice whispering in your ear that you're better than you actually are, that you're entitled to success without putting in the work. It's the voice that tells you your perspective is the only one that really matters. It's basically a distortion of reality. And here's what's so damaging about it. Ego systematically attacks every single thing you need to actually succeed. It poisons your ability to learn, because if you think you know it all, you can't take feedback. So, mastery, gone. It blocks out new ideas, killing any chance of creative insight. And it pushes away the very people you need to help you, leaving you isolated and making any kind of long-term success basically impossible.
Okay, so how does this enemy actually work? Well, one of the first and honestly most common traps the ego sets for us is the temptation to just talk, to tell everyone about the amazing things we're going to do.
I mean, think about it. We live in a culture that rewards talking, right? You can announce your grand plans on social media, get 100 likes, and feel like you've already accomplished something. But Holiday argues this is a huge trap. Real strength, real confidence, that comes from silence and action, not from broadcasting your every move. And this isn't just some philosophical point. There's real psychology behind this. Research actually shows that our brains can confuse the satisfaction we get from talking about a goal with the satisfaction of actually making progress. All that talk literally drains the motivation you need for the hard, quiet, unglamorous work of, doing the thing.
So this brings up a huge question. How do we fight back? Well, the book says it all starts with making a fundamental choice about what our purpose is, a choice between image and impact.
There's this great story about a brilliant fighter pilot and military strategist named John Boyd. He knew that ambition could so easily be twisted and corrupted by ego. So to stop that, he would frame this incredibly powerful choice for every young person he mentored. He'd force them to decide what really mattered to them.
And this just lays out the choice we all face so perfectly. The 2B path, that's all ego. It's about chasing the fancy titles, getting the recognition, having the appearance of success, even if it means you have to compromise who you are. But the 2Do path, that's about purpose. It's about focusing on the work itself, on making a real difference, whether or not anyone ever knows your name.
So, once you've chosen that path of doing, what's the next big weapon against ego? Humility. It's the mindset that no matter what you've accomplished, you are never, ever done learning.
I love this story about Kirk Hammett. Right after he joins Metallica, we're talking one of the biggest bands on the planet, what's his first move? He goes out and finds a guitar teacher. His ego could have said, dude, you've made it, you're in Metallica. But he knew he wasn't as good as he could be. So he humbled himself and sought out a master to get better. That's what humility looks like in action.
MMA champion Frank Shamrock came up with this absolutely brilliant model for getting better forever. He called it plus, minus, and equal. The plus keeps you humble. The minus forces you to really understand what you know. And the equal keeps you sharp and competitive. It's a system that guarantees you're getting honest 360-degree feedback, which is basically kryptonite for the ego.
And this really just says it all, doesn't it? At its core, ego is the enemy of getting better. It closes your mind by convincing you you're already great. And as the ancient Stoics knew, you simply cannot learn something you're already convinced you know. Okay, final big idea. Let's talk about the fuel that drives us. Our culture today is obsessed with passion, this idea of frantic, wild enthusiasm. But Holiday makes a really compelling case that there's a much better, much more reliable fuel source, and that's purpose. Think of it this way. Passion is like a flash fire. It's hot, it's exciting, but it burns out really fast and can leave you with nothing but ash. Purpose, though.
Purpose is like this steady, glowing heat from embers. It's built on reason, on clarity. It isn't about how excited you feel right now. It's about the bigger why that keeps you going when things inevitably get hard.
You know, the legendary basketball coach John Wooden was famously dispassionate. He wasn't about fiery, rah-rah speeches. He was about systems, discipline, and quiet control. He knew that emotional highs don't last. What creates real, lasting success is a calm, steady focus on a clear purpose.
So in the end, this whole explainer and the book itself really just comes down to that one choice John Boyd laid out: to be somebody or to do something. And the thing is, it's not a decision you make one time. Life puts that question in front of you every single day in all the little choices you make. And your answer? Well, that's what will determine your path.